Davis Law Firm.
Oh, a lot of excitement last night. It was a big game for the Dallas Cowboys going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. And once again, Dak Prescott would be a no-go for the 5th straight game after breaking a bone in his throwing thumb in the season opener. So it was up to Cooper Rush again, and the Dallas early second quarter after a crucial defense penalty. The Eagles get on the board first. Handoff goes to Miles Sanders, and he's in for the 5-yard touchdown. Philly leads 7-0. Rush and the Cowboys just couldn't get anything going in that first half, and Dallas heads into halftime trailing 20-3. So the Cowboys make it a game on their first offensive possession of the third quarter. Ezekiel Elliott takes the handoff, cuts to the left, and races in untouched for the 14-yard touchdown. That makes it 20-10. Then after that, the Dallas defense gets a stop. Cooper Rush caps a 15-play, 93-yard drive with the 7-yard touchdown pass to Jake Ferguson early in the fourth quarter, and suddenly the Cowboys only trailed 20-17, but the Eagles up. Offense comes alive again on the ensuing drive. Off-play action. Hurts finds Devontae Smith for the 7-yard touchdown. They go for 2 and don't get it. So Philly only leads 26-17. Cowboys trying to stay in it. Next drive, Rush under heavy pressure, throws it deep, but it's underthrown. Gardner Johnson comes up with his second pick of the game. That's Rush's third interception, and that basically seals it. Here's your final score. Eagles win 26-17. Dallas is now 4-2. After the game, head coach Mike McCarthy gave us his thoughts on the slow start.
Obviously, the start of the game was in their favor. Obviously, we got behind, but I think like anything, the big thing we talked about in the locker room was just the emotion of the game. You knew that coming in, and you got to be better in the discipline penalties. We had too many discipline penalties, and we had three giveaways. So there's a lot of momentum which you have in these types of games. This an excellent competitive arena to compete in, and I thought we punched back every time they hit us with some things, and then we got going there in the second half, and particularly in the third quarter, running the ball, and the up-tempo offense obviously was a help, but you're trying to get to it, in the first half, was trying to do it after a first down in a series, and just couldn't get it going. So just got to be cleaner. Had some young guys that we're still growing in some areas on offense. We knew that coming in here, and it's part of the way we've been playing. But the emphasis all week was running the football and stopping the run. So, and that obviously was a big part of this game.
The Spurs have wrapped up their preseason with a 1-4 record. That includes losing their first 3 games. The Spurs' main star, Keldon Johnson, who will be leading the young squad, played in the final 2 preseason games. He scored 22 points against the Jazz and 19 against the Thunder on Thursday. Devin Vassell is entering his 3rd year in the NBA and played in 4 of the 5 Spurs preseason games, leading the team averaging 16.5 points per game. So the regular season starts on Wednesday against the Charlotte Hornets. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. at the AT&T Center. The team flies to Indiana to take on the Pacers on Friday. Then it's off to Philadelphia on Saturday to play the 76ers. San Antonio FC wrapped up one of the best regular seasons in USL Championships history this weekend with a 2-2 draw against Orange County SC. Christian Perano had the highlight of the match with a beautiful equalizer in the 46th minute of play. San Antonio finishes with a 5-5 overall record and 77 points. That's tied for the most wins in a single season, and they sit at second all-time in points. The club earned a bye week in the first round of the USL Championship playoffs, and so they'll take the pitch for the Western Conference semifinals on Friday, October 28th at Toyota Field. San Antonio has home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
That's good news, home field advantage.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Time now, 4:44 and 66 degrees for now.
Up next, free returns are becoming a thing of the past. While retailers are changing the game for customers.
And welcome back. It's 4:47. Some major retailers are doing away with free returns ahead of the holiday season. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, holiday shopping alert. As the holiday shopping season ramps up, buyers beware. Some major retailers are adjusting their shipping return policies, making free returns a thing of the past.
Free returns are going away because the cost of returns is becoming so astronomical for retailers. As we are seeing the attrition of labor and we are seeing prices go up, retailers have no choice but to also to save their own skins, really, to tack on extra fees so that they're able to manage the returns.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have the expert tips you need to know to still make those returns without losing any extra money. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
All right, if you're going to head out this morning, make sure you maybe take some extra time because the roads are slick out there. We're not seeing any incidents at this time, but you can see, that those raindrops on that camera lens right there. Roads are slick, so be careful.
Yeah, we'll be checking in with Stephen Cavazos in our next half hour. But for now, let's go ahead and check in with Mike to see if that rain will continue.
Yeah, it's going to be off and on really throughout most of the day. And this, I think, kind of sums it up. It's one of those days where you wish you could just, I know this picture says it's Friday. Let me, not get up yet, but it's Monday. So kind of a rainy Monday. It is going to be getting cooler throughout the day. And just scan that QR code, send in some of these great pictures. Yeah, one more shot at the wet roads out there. Like Sarah Steph, we're saying, take it easy this morning because they are going to be slippery until all that dirt and oil get washed off there. But it is so nice to see some of this rain, step outside and to smell the rain as well. And we've got a few showers and a few storms around the area as of right now. Not much in the way of lightning. Most of this, again, is just kind of light to moderate rain. A few better showers right over here in northern Uvalde County, and then more is developing, especially down there around Eagle Pass. So this will be an on and off situation, especially going through say early afternoon. Then it will begin to taper just a bit, but we'll still have some scattered showers around throughout the day. And as far as the humidity is concerned, dew point temperatures we're already starting to feel the effects of the front that's moving on through here. So dew points have dropped down 7 degrees here in town compared to this time yesterday, and 5 elsewhere. So we'll have some of these showers around. I've kind of altered temperatures a little bit because we've already started to with these fronts moving on through here. Sometimes the lower temperatures or the cooler air moves in a little bit quicker than expected. So we are in the mid 60s right now, mid to upper 60s here in town. We'll stay there for the next couple of hours. It's not going to be a huge plunge in temperatures, but they will continue their slow, steady decline. We'll have our better chance of rain throughout the morning hours into early afternoon, and then we'll be around 64 degrees and even low 60s and upper 50s in portions of the hill country by late this afternoon. And it is going to be breezy with winds out of the northeast, 15, 25 miles per hour, gusting at times close to 30 miles per hour. We've already seen a few of those wind gusts around here this morning. As far as the humidity, it will continue to drop down. We get the drier air pushing on in here, and then we get that real big surge of the dry air coming on in here. And this would be for tomorrow morning and then going into Wednesday. We'll still have a few clouds left over tomorrow, so we won't be as cool as what we could get down to, but it's still going to be chilly tomorrow. And then going into midweek with this really bone dry air out there, clear skies. Yeah, it's going to be in some cases downright cold in places. We're looking at upper 40s here in town, so sometimes the rule of thumb is subtract 10 going into parts of the hill country. So 40, upper 30s potentially by midweek in portions, like I said, of the hill country. Rain sticks around throughout the first portion of the day and then starts to taper off. A couple of showers are going to be possible early tomorrow. Then we will begin to clear out. And once we clear out, that again is when things are really going to cool down around here by midweek. So going for 65 today at noon. This pretty much call it temperatures will be slowly declining throughout the day. So grab a jacket, rain jacket you will need, and one to kind of keep the chill out. 64 degrees, couple of showers. It is going to be very windy today. And then tonight we will still have a couple of showers left over. Maybe 1 or 2 of them, especially down to the south tomorrow as far as showers. So we'll be at 68 degrees, starting off at 55. And then look at that, mid and upper 40s midweek. That's here in town. So we're looking at 40, maybe upper 30s, parts of the hill country. Beautiful midweek. Should I ignore the latter part of that graphic there?
Yeah.
Or it says
more humid.
I let you say it. So.
I'll be the messenger.
It's going to
be
yeah. Showers today, and then great for the middle part of the week, and then what they said at the end of the week. Blame them. So
we'll take the early part.
Yeah.
And enjoying this rain too right now. Yes. All right, thank you, Mike. It is 4:52 and 66 degrees.
And coming up next, a first look at the new season of The Crown, plus rapper Eminem celebrating a big birthday today.
Halloween finally ends at the box office, plus Netflix is teasing the next season of The Crown.
For the latest what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Christopher Watson.
What are you gonna do when Michael comes back for you?
Halloween Ends, the 13th and, if you believe the marketing, final film. More than 4-decade film franchise opened atop the weekend box office with $41.2 million. That's about $14 million less than expected, a shortfall pundits pin on its simultaneous release on Paramount+.
It's smiling at me.
Another reason might be a third strong week for the horror flick Smile, slipping to second and posting a total domestic gross of $71.1 million. Netflix just dropped images from season 5 of The Crown, including Elizabeth Debicki as Princess Diana. But the streamer has a few headaches ahead of the November 5th premiere, including claims it's disrespectful to air it so soon after Queen Elizabeth's death. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle reportedly also requested last-minute changes to a forthcoming Netflix documentary about them to remove comments critical of the royal family. And happy birthday, Eminem. The rapper's 50 on Monday. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
All right, 456 and 66 degrees.
And early midterm election voting starts today in some states. We're going to show you the biggest races so far and why former President Barack Obama is hitting the campaign trail once again.
Plus, a look at what's coming up today ahead of the trial of a local mother accused of her daughter's death. Find out what prosecutors are saying about the latest evidence and autopsy photos.
And still ahead on GMSA at 6, spooky season is here, but are you in a scary relationship in real life? How to spot something toxic and what you can do about it.
All right, our Stephen Cavazos, he just walked in the studio. He's going to let us know if there's any incidents that we need to be concerned about on these slick roads. Remember, if you're going to be leaving anytime soon, take your time out there because the roads might be a little slick. We'll be right back.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Well, as advertised, that cool front is moving on through the area. The winds have shifted around. We have some rain out there, and temperatures will make a slow decline throughout the day. And wait till you see the forecast in the next couple of days.
The November midterm elections are now just more than 3 weeks away, with campaigns now heating up in battleground states, including Georgia, seen as a must-win to lock in control of the Senate. I'm ABC's Justin Finch in Washington with more ahead.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we were excited to start the day with something we hadn't seen in a while, which is rain. And right now you can see some slick roads out there.
Good morning. It's Monday, October 17th. And yeah, so if you're hearing those raindrops on your window this morning, it's not your sound machine or your alarm waking you up. It's the real deal.
Actual rain. Yeah, we're excited to have that. I'm also excited about the cool front we're expecting.
Absolutely. Mike, so those temperatures, when can we expect them to start kind of?
They've really started to edge down a little bit. Usually we drop down in the morning, but we're starting to see that, and that's just going to continue the slow, steady decline throughout the rest of today. Obviously, the clouds are going to, keep us from getting too cool today or tomorrow morning, but boy, wait till you see what's in store for the middle part of the week. If you want jacket weather, oh yeah, it's coming. 66 degrees right now. Dew point stands at 63. So we're still above 60 as far as the dew point is concerned. That's sort of that threshold number, but that number has dropped down. Dew points have dropped down considerably, especially from yesterday. We have wind out of the north at times it's been gusting already 20, 25 miles per hour. It was just 8 miles per hour out there at the airport. Temperatures, like I said, will do that slow decline throughout the day, mid and lower 60s by later on this afternoon. The aquifer did go up 0.3 of a foot in yesterday's reading, and the allergens is light amounts across the board. Mold may go up a little bit with some of this rain out there, but ragweed and pigweed are both on the low side. So take a look at radar right now. It is beautiful to see rain out there, and we're going to continue with this throughout a good chunk of the day. Primarily through, say, early afternoon is going to be the better chance for some rain around here. And we've had a couple of stronger storms, especially yesterday. There's nothing too strong out there as of right now. We've got these showers here in town, just pretty much on the light side. It has been despite a little heavier shower here at times, probably light enough just to make the road slippery enough not to really get all the oil and dirt off there. So just take it easy as you're driving. Steven's going to have more on that in a minute. And as you can see, we've got a couple of pretty decent downpours right here in northern Medina County. Everything is working its way straight kind of west to east. And then further off to the west, there is some more rain. So we will continue with some of these showers, like I said, throughout the course of the day, even if a couple of thunderstorms can't be ruled out. And we'll still have perhaps a leftover by tomorrow morning. Wind right now, like I said, is out of the northeast, 15-mile-per-hour winds there in Uvalde. And then, yeah, we do still have some gusts right now, but it is going to be gustier throughout the day. So showers, breezy this morning, and then we'll still continue with a couple of showers, maybe a clap of thunder here and there. Windy, cooler temperatures, not a big blast of cold air this afternoon. And then tomorrow, that's when we start to really feel the cooler air. It's going to be mid-50s and then downright chilly by midweek. Great afternoons by midweek. Should I click this one more time here? Humidity is going to come back by this weekend. We'll forget about that bottom line there for a while. Anyway, we'll talk about how cool we're going to be getting midweek coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, good morning, Mr. Cavazos. What is going on, sir?
You know, Mike, I kind of had a feeling this was going to happen this morning. 281 at Hildebrandt. We have our first crash that's reported right there. And of course, it's as drivers are approaching that curve. A few droplets on that camera, so a little difficult to make out this early in the morning. But you can see that as drivers are approaching, some of them are actually coming to a little bit of a slowdown. We do have those road flares out there. Looks like it could be the far right lane, but we're going to have to watch this area closely. It is one of those spots where anytime that we do see some wet roads, an incident could pop up there. So if you are traveling through 281, drive carefully, especially as you approach that curve there at Hildebrandt. Taking you to the map, right there along those northbound lanes is where we're seeing a minor buildup. I wouldn't say it's anything to be concerned of just yet, but just as you approach 281, expect to see a little bit of a slowdown and, of course, those flashing lights out there. And as always, we hope everybody's doing all right. I did see a report about a crash that was right over here near Loop 1604 westbound at I-10. Not seeing anything on the TransGuide cameras. Our map has picked it up, but again, this is just something that we're seeing right there. No cameras in the area, so we're not able to show you exactly what it looks like. But of course, if you're driving through that spot, drive carefully. Let's go ahead and now give you a wide look at the metro area, or let's jump back and you can see there, no other slowdowns reported just yet. Of course, we're going to have a lot of active road closures still, so we'll get to that in a little while. But right now, if you're going to be traveling into San Antonio, Sarah mentioned this earlier, take your time. That's the best way to go, because the journey from Bernie already is looking like a 26-minute drive time. A little close to half an hour if you're traveling in from 281 southbound, coming in from Bulverde, and right now 26 minutes on I-35 southbound heading in from New Braunfels. So the drive times aren't too bad, but it does look like those flashing lights there at 281 at Hildebrandt have disappeared. We're going to watch this area closely, and of course other roadways. Just remember to keep your eyes on the road as well. Sarah.
Stephen, thank you. All right, today the trial of a mother accused of her daughter's death continues today at the Bexar County Courthouse. Jessica Briones is charged with the murder of her 4-year-old daughter, Olivia Briones. Olivia died a day after her mother walked her to a San Antonio Police Department substation unresponsive on September 5th of 2017. It was a hard day for jurors last week as prosecutors show evidence and autopsy photos. The images showed numerous injuries all over the child's body, including multiple injuries to the head. When questioned about particular injuries by police, Briones recalled instances of twirling her daughter around and her hitting her head on a door frame or accidentally smashing her arm on a door. Several jurors were seen crying, and they were given a short break after a second photo was shown. If found guilty, Briones faces up to life in prison.
A man and his stepson on trial at the same time for the same murder. And today, the court will hear closing arguments in the trial for Lane Wooten and Williams Blankenship. When the state rested its case on Friday, testimony focused on what happened the night 24-year-old Josh Fowler was killed. The lead detective on that case took the stand to tell jurors what his investigation revealed. Fowler and another friend had a run-in with Wooten earlier in the day on December 8th, 2020. Later, while Fowler and his friend were at another friend's house, Wooten showed up with his mother and stepfather, Williams Blankenship. Fowler got into a fight with Wooten, and at some point he was shot. But by who is the question. How many shots were fired is also an important question, since investigators say the defendants arrived with more than one weapon.
There were no casings found at the actual murder site, were there?
No.
We know there was for sure one because the victim was shot, but there were no casings that were found. So there could have been one or there could have been 2 shots that night.
Correct.
Jennifer Blankenship Wooten's mother is also facing charges in this case.
Well, it's been nearly a week since Uvalde CISD Superintendent Hal Harrell's retirement was accepted by the school board. Happening this Wednesday, there will be a Uvalde CISD special board meeting to discuss matters related to his retirement. So on the agenda for closed session is a consultation with an attorney regarding legal issues related to the retirement, as well as a search process to hire a new superintendent. The board could also interview a possible interim superintendent. This morning, the nation is now just weeks away from the November midterm election. Among the most closely watched contests, the race for Georgia senator.
As ABC's Justin Finch reports, a win for either party in the crucial battleground state will decide the balance of power in Washington.
A stark sight at Sunday's Georgia senatorial debate. Republican nominee Herschel Walker opting out.
Herschel Walker, a Republican, is a businessman and former professional athlete. Mr. Walker has declined to participate and is represented by an empty podium.
Walker's campaign saying he never agreed to attend. His absence comes amid criticism he was pretending to be law enforcement when he flashed a badge at a debate Friday.
You have a prop.
Yes.
That is not allowed, sir.
The former football star in a new interview insisting that honorary badge is real, given to him by the Johnson County, Georgia sheriff.
Everyone can make fun, but this badge give me the right. Let me finish. If anything happened in this county, I have the right to work with the police and getting things done.
The National Sheriff's Association said an honorary badge, quote, is for the trophy case. Why make the decision to flash it at the debate?
That is totally not true.
But on Facebook, the Johnson County Sheriff's Office posting Walker was only made an honorary sheriff's deputy for his dedication to law enforcement and commitment to public safety. Republicans viewing Georgia as a must-win to secure Senate control. But polls show a tight race between Walker and Democrat incumbent Raphael Warnock, now distancing himself from the White House.
I have voted to support the people of Georgia. And when I needed to, I've stood up to the Biden administration.
A new model shows Republicans likely to take control of the House as economic concerns appear to slow Democrats' momentum.
I think the first and most important issue is, are we going to preserve and hopefully strengthen our democracy?
That from former President Obama on this podcast. He's now set to campaign for Democrats in battleground states, including Georgia, Michigan, and Wisconsin in the coming weeks. With voting set to begin soon, new safety protocols are launching at poll sites nationwide, from hiring extra security to installing bulletproof glass and even holding active shooter drills. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
And time now, 5:11 and 65 degrees for now.
Well, Apple Music's spatial audio feature is coming to cars for the first time. We'll tell you which vehicles will be among the first to take advantage of this feature.
In the U.S., someone is diagnosed with blood cancer approximately every 3 minutes. How the San Antonio community is now working together to help a local child battling leukemia who also lost both of her parents.
65 degrees at 5:11. You can see right there on the camera some little drops out there on the lens. Yep, rain is making its way into our viewing area. Mike is going to have the full forecast and let us know when it's also going to cool down. Well, a child battling cancer is now in the care of her grandmother. Both of her parents died within months of each other.
Emery Cervantes is 4 years old, and she's been fighting leukemia for 2 years now. In December, she will be turning 5 and hopefully celebrating her remission. Her grandmother, Linda Cervantes, says there's a big party planned, one her father had put together before he died on September 29th.
She lost her mom on March 27, 2022. A drunk driver killed her in Southside. And so she just had daddy left, right? And then now daddy got cancer.
There are a few nonprofits helping Linda as she takes care of Emery and Gabriella Smile Foundation here in San Antonio, one campaign at a time. Before her dad died, Johnny wanted to take Emery to Disney World. Now one campaign at a time is trying to make that happen. If you'd like to donate, we have a link on our website at KSAT.com.
Such a hard story, but I know the community will come together.
I believe they will.
And rally behind Emery so she can have that trip to Disney World. All right, it's 5:16 and 65 degrees.
And still had a first look at a new handheld gaming device by Razer and how much it's going to cost you.
One step now, it's all you have to take. You won't fall, I won't let you down. Don't look down, you only have to take one step now.
BioFreeze, the #1 clinician-recommended menthol topical pain relief brand. Works fast, lasts long. Cool the pain with BioFreeze.
I've been telling everyone, the secret to great teeth is having healthy gums. Crest Advanced Gum Restore detoxifies below the gum line and restores by helping heal gums in as little as 7 days. Crest, the #1 toothpaste brand in America.
All right, time check is about 5:19. We have to get a look here at 1604 at Northwest Military. Things are not looking good out there, and this is actually looks like a crash that was reported earlier. We told you about an incident that wasn't too far from Lock Hill, Selma, but this is a shot from TransGuide. I'll get them back on the phone and find out exactly what we're looking at, but it does appear this could be that exact crash that we saw earlier on the map. And again, roads are wet out there, guys. It's likely we could see incidents like this pop up throughout the morning, but we're going to have to watch the roads closely. And as always, you have to make sure you're doing the same thing. Give yourself some time before you head out the door this morning. Taking you to the map, this is not too far from Six Flags. We have it there. Our map's pinpointed it near I-10, but we'll get our friends at TransGuide on the phone, get an exact location so that way you know what to expect if you have to drive through the area. Do want to make a quick mention right over here where we did have this crash at 281 northbound at Hildebrandt. We showed you the shot from TransGuide, and it did look like it cleared out, but I did notice some more flashing lights pop up in the area, so we'll find out exactly what we're looking at and if the conditions are still pretty bad out there. Giving you a wide look at the map now. Thankfully, no other incidents reported, just these two right now, but some of those wet roads could obviously cause some issues later in the day. Just again, give yourself some time. And of course, as always, watch out for some crews because we're still going to see some of the road closures out there. Barrier installation will continue to take place tonight. It's going to be a little bit later so we can plan the commute ahead of time if you're already at home. It will continue up until October 21st, 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning. Expect alternating lane closures in both directions from Bentwood Drive to Far Hills Drive. But of course, always head over to our website at KSAT.com for more information /traffic. Let's get back to the rotation here at TransGuide. 281 at the airport, 90 at Couples. The roads are pretty wet out there, Mike.
Yeah, and we really haven't had, we've had a couple of decent showers here and there, but since we haven't had any rain in forever, it seems like it's the dust, it's the oil that hasn't had a chance to wash off yet. And as the experts always say, slow down before you get into some of those curves. All right, here's what's going on radar right now. And we have some pretty much just light showers in and around town. And there's a couple of more that are moving in here from Medina County, although this seems to be sort of easing up a bit, some moderate to a couple of decent downpours, and then further on out to the west. Now, I want to switch radars real quickly and show you what's going on. This is switching over to the radar over there toward Del Rio. And as you can see, we do have more in the way of some, well, decent rain here just to the north of Eagle Pass, even a couple of lightning strikes and a couple of claps of thunder that are being detected. So we'll continue to see some of these showers off and on throughout the course of the day, primarily the first half of the day. That's going to be the best chance of rain up through noon and early afternoon. Temperature right now 66 out there at the airport, low 60s in the hill country. We've got cloud cover, obviously, so that's acting like a blanket. So it's not allowing just this, temperatures to plunge in behind this front. And as far as out there to the northwest, not anything real cold as of yet, but that is still on its way. Wind gusts right now, 24 miles per hour out there at New Braunfels, 26 Uvalde, 25 in Pleasanton, and we're going to see some gusty conditions all day long, gusting 30, close to 35 at times. Temperatures right around mid-60s, and we'll just continue with that slow, steady decline throughout the day. And like I said, the better chance of rain is going to be late morning hours through late morning, and then up through the early afternoon. Then the rain chances will taper somewhat, but we'll still have some showers out there. We're going to be in the mid to lower 60s, best way to put it, as far as temperatures, as the cool air continues to filter on in here. And it's still going to be on the windy side, like I said, with winds gusting close to 30 to 35 miles per hour at times. So by later on this afternoon and into the evening hours, fewer, a little further between with some of the showers out there. Perhaps a couple of leftovers early tomorrow morning, especially to the west and southwest. Then we begin the clearing process, and that's when the really cold air gets on in here. It is definitely going to be chilly. We've got these bone dry dew point temperatures the first portion of the week, clear skies. That's really going to allow temperatures to plunge, but look what happens by the weekend. Yep, the humidity is definitely going to start to come back in here, and you will definitely feel it. All right, we have got some freezing temperatures, 26 in Omaha as of right now. Same thing in Casper, Wyoming. So this is definitely a cold front, and yep, we are going to be getting a nice little chunk of it, at least for the middle portion of the week. Details this afternoon at noon, 65 degrees, showers, breezy. Again, we'll continue with that slow, steady decline of temperatures. And then later on this afternoon, we're going to make it down to mid to lower 60s. Showers, it is going to be windy. And over the next couple of days, after some morning clouds tomorrow, we'll begin to clear on out. 55 tomorrow. Then look at that, mid 40s by the middle portion of the week. So much, much colder in parts of the hill country. Yep, it is going to be warmer and more humid by the weekend. More after this.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple's immersive audio experience is coming to cars. Mercedes-Benz announced it's adding Apple's spatial audio to a select number of its cars. Those models will be equipped with a 31-speaker sound system, which costs up to $6,700 at purchase. Next, the end of G4 TV again. The game-centric network has been shut down by Comcast a year after its relaunch. Now, G4 first appeared on cable in 2002, but was closed down a decade later. Management says ratings were low and G4 just couldn't be sustained. Finally, Razer and Verizon have unveiled a new handheld gaming device. Razer says its Razer's Edge has 87% more pixels than the similar models. It runs on a Snapdragon gaming platform developed specifically for the Edge. Prices start at $400 for the Wi-Fi only model. Verizon and a Razer talk about cutting edge technology. Those are your Tech Bites.
All right, it's 5:28 and 65 degrees.
And it's almost the end for the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot. We're going to tell you when the committee plans to finish its work, plus an update on the subpoena of former President Donald Trump.
And people using hearing aids could soon have to pay a whole lot less. We'll tell you who qualifies for the new over-the-counter hearing aids, which should be available starting today.
And ahead on GMSA at 6, mariachi bands are being used to help Alzheimer's patients. Why this new form of therapy seems to be working.
Making headlines this morning, the January 6th House panel is winding down, but it's not done yet.
We're in a position in the very near future to call the witnesses from the Secret Service back in.
The House Select Committee has voted unanimously to subpoena Trump. What could happen if he refuses?
And taking a look outside with a live cam, you can see some of those wet roads out there. We've been having rain this morning and looking forward to a cold front.
Good morning. Happy Monday morning. It's October 17th and we have rain behind us, staff.
This is exciting. It's what we've been waiting for since Friday even.
Oh my gosh, it feels like weeks now. Yeah. And I dusted off my rain gauge, Mike. Hopefully I get something in there.
Well, some folks have been seeing some decent downpours. There was actually a couple of big thunderstorms well out to the west late last night in the wee hours this morning. As you can see, there is rain on the roads, easy for me to say, and some raindrops on the camera lens. And this is going to be the situation throughout a good chunk of the day today. Right now we are at 66 degrees. That number, dew point, still above 60. windy, so you can still feel some of the humidity, but it has dropped significantly since yesterday, and it will continue to drop down. Temperatures will also be slowly declining throughout the day. It is on the breezy side, wind out of the north at 8 miles per hour. Not that much just out there at the airport, but we've got some pretty good gusts as of right now. So as you can see, we've got just a few showers in and around town. It has been raining off and on since late last night, so consider most all the roads going to be wet. I don't know if it's really been enough to wash off all the oil and dust and everything, so we're already seeing some problems out there. Stephen's going to have more on that in just a moment. And then further out to the west, we've got a couple of more pockets of some decent downpours here and there, so some rain gauges are definitely getting filled up. And then further on out to the west, we've got more showers and even more that are developing further out in the mountains of Mexico and going to be coming on in here. So again, we will continue to have rain off and on throughout most all of the day, especially the first chunk of the day up through early afternoon. Then it will begin to ease up somewhat. And wind right now, 12 miles per hour out there at Port SA, 14 Hondo, 18 Uvalde. Then we already have some gusts on top of that, 24 New Braunfels, 12 at Rio Medina, and 18 at Bulverde. And like I said, it will be very gusty throughout the day. Mold on the light side, I think that may go up somewhat given some of the rain. The updated count is going to come out just after 7 o'clock this morning. Ragweed and pigweed are also low. 65 at noon, 64 later on. One thing you can take away from this is just the fact that, yes, temperatures will continue that slow, steady decline throughout the day. Windy, and we will have more showers around here. Get ready. Sarah was talking about dusting off rain gauge. Make sure you dust off a rain jacket not only for today, but midweek. You will definitely need a coat. Details on those numbers coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Stephen. Not a fun morning on the roads. Right?
No, and you want to make sure those windshield wipers are working this morning. Let's get a look there as we are talking about this crash off Loop 1604 near Northwest Military. We see those flashing lights. This time they're a little bit further out in the distance, but we did have this crash reported in the westbound lanes. Spoke to our friends at TransGuide just a few minutes ago, and we know that this is near Lock Hill Selma Road, and that is where we're seeing a little bit of a buildup right there along Loop 1604. Very dark still, so you have to drive carefully. Obviously, we have a lot of folks that travel through 1604 each and every day. We want to make sure that we drive carefully and, of course, give them the room they need to get the job done. And as always, we hope everyone's doing okay. But we got to get a jump over here to 281. There southbound lanes at Hildebrandt. Spoke to our friends at TransGuide, and what they told us is that this is actually as you approach the on-ramp, not far from Hildebrandt Avenue. So we really wouldn't see so much of a buildup there along our map, but something to be on the lookout for. Again, Hildebrandt, one of those curves where people need to slow down as they approach it, especially as the roads are wet this morning. Now let's give you a quick bird's eye view of the metro area. Thankfully, no weather problems to report this early, but these roads are wet, so we'll have to watch things carefully. Travel times, though, if you're going to be heading in this early to San Antonio, it's not too bad yet. 30 minutes right now, I-10 westbound, pretty green from Seguin, I would say. If you're traveling into the downtown area, it looks like a little more than half an hour if you're heading in from Livonia on 87 northbound. And for our friends down in Floresville, 29 minutes is what you can expect this early in the morning. Let's go ahead and get one last look at that crash off Loop 1604 at Northwest Military. Looks like it could be clearing, but it's an area that we will watch closely and have those updates for you right here on GMSA. Sarah?
Thank you, Stephen. It's almost the end for the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot. A member of the panel says it plans to finish its work by the end of December.
But it's not done yet. As CNN's Amy Kiley reports, if former President Trump refuses to comply with the subpoena, the panel could send the Justice Department a criminal referral of contempt.
All select committees, including this one, are created for the life of that Congress.
The January 6th House panel is winding down, but it's not done yet.
We're in a position in the very near future to call the witnesses from the Secret Service back in.
Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren says the committee wants to hear from former Secret Service Assistant Director Tony Ornato. Then White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson testified. He told her about then-President Donald Trump's behavior on January 6th. Her secondhand account is that Trump's protectors told him not to go to the Capitol, and he lunged at one of them in anger. Meanwhile, here's new insight about what lawmakers discussed that day.
There was some suggestion that we do it, that we reconvene the Congress off-site. Unanimously, all of us believed that was not what we were going to do.
Now, almost 2 years later, some people still baselessly deny the 2020 presidential election results.
There's plenty of evidence. We had 740,000 ballots with no chain of custody.
That's not true, according to numerous judges, election officials, and politicians of both parties. But as the midterms approach,
will you accept the results of your election in November?
I'm going to win the election, and I will accept that result.
If you lose, will you accept that?
I'm going to win the election, and I will accept that result.
Amy Kiley, KSAT 12 News.
Well, investigators in Stockton, California are releasing information about the arrest of a man who they believe is a serial killer. 43-year-old Wesley Brownlee was taken into custody early Saturday morning. He's accused of fatally shooting 5 people and injuring another person. Investigators say Brownlee was under surveillance prior to his arrest, and they believe he was prowling the streets looking for another victim.
In Tomball, a child died after being stabbed by her mother while at a Harris County park on Sunday afternoon. That's according to the Harris County Sheriff. Now, the sheriff said on Twitter that the incident happened around noon at Spring Creek Park in Tomball, which is about 40 minutes away from Houston. Right now, it's not known what led up to the incident, but the child's believed to be 5 or 6 years old. Deputies say the child was stabbed in the neck by her mother, and moments later she drove the child to an emergency room. Deputies say when medical staff came out to the mother's vehicle to evaluate the child, she was already dead. The child's mother has not been named, and investigators are working to determine a motive and if she will face any charges.
It's 5:39 and 65 degrees.
Millions of Americans are missing out on some COVID-related relief. We're going to tell you who qualifies and how much money could be waiting for you.
A lot is at stake going into the Texas midterm elections this year. Up next, we get a breakdown of this year's key races from a UTSA political science professor who points out some key points voters need to pay attention to.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we're happy to see those showers come through our area, and we'll be happier once that cold front completely comes in. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Early voting is just around the corner, and there are still so many questions when it comes to various elections across the Lone Star State.
John Taylor, the department chair and professor of the Department of Political Science at UTSA, joined us on Leading SA this weekend to talk about the issues that could sway voters this election season.
Professor Taylor joined us, and we talked about some of the most competitive and intriguing races across the state of Texas. We talked about some of the topics that a lot of candidates are harping on, and of course, we talked about the governor's race. Here's a bit of our conversation.
The public polling suggests that Beto O'Rourke is down to Governor Abbott by anywhere between 4 to 7 points. I strongly suspect that the internal polling for the Abbott campaign especially is probably telling him something different. Why? Because of all the negative ads we're seeing all over TV, radio, and elsewhere. That tells you that his internal polling probably says this race is a lot closer. Beto O'Rourke is definitely campaigning like it's a lot closer. And so it is fascinating because the difference between the two, Abbott is not making many campaign appearances. Beto, of course, is barnstorming the state of Texas.
You can check out the full conversation right now. Just head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. Now, we have Leading SA every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So, guys, we'll see you next Sunday. Back to you.
And time now, 5:43 and 65 degrees for now.
Up next, a big day for people that need hearing aids. Many will be available without a prescription. What a Johns Hopkins doctor is saying about who qualifies.
KSAT 12 presents another Day of the Dead story, Building the Ofrenda.
Ofrenda means offering, and on November 1st, these altars welcome back our loved ones to the world of the living. They're built with many pieces and parts, and each of them has a specific purpose. Water is one of nature's 4 elements, and after a spirit's long journey back to the world of the living, they may be thirsty. So leaving out a pitcher and a glass of water is a nice touch. It can be placed on the altar's second level beside your other offerings. A clean soul is a happy soul, so your loved one may want to wash up. Many ofrendas will also include a basin, mirror, and a bar of soap. In this case, they're placed on the bottom level with other elements of purification. When I build my ofrenda, I make sure that I pour the water in a beautiful glass or cup, just as I would for any other special guest entering my home.
And welcome back. It's 5:47 in your morning consumer headlines. Starting today, millions of Americans will be able to buy hearing aids over the counter without a prescription. So prior to the new FDA rules taking effect, the hearing aids cost on average between $4,000 and $5,000. They also required a trip to a licensed audiologist. Now, consumers who need them will be able to pick them up at retailers like Best Buy.
I know OTC hearings on the market. Are they right for me? How's my hearing? What should I do? So there's no reason why someone still want to see a doctor. But from there, though, you're not constrained by having to pay several $1,000s for prescription hearing aids. You can just get a counter, which may be all you need.
Medical experts say untreated hearing loss can increase the risk of social isolation and depression in the elderly. Some studies even suggest that poor hearing can contribute to falls. Until now, only about 1/5 of Americans over 70 are able to comfortably afford them.
The IRS is reaching out to more than 9 million Americans who may be missing out on COVID-related tax benefits. So many may not be aware that they can claim the 2021 Recovery Rebate Credit, the Child Tax Credit, and the Earned Income Tax Credit, among other benefits. Eligible taxpayers could receive 5-figure payments, including stimulus money, if they qualify. The Internal Revenue Service is focusing on families and individuals who haven't filed a tax return for 2021 yet. Millions of low-income Americans in particular do not appear to be taking advantage of these temporary tax provisions Congress approved during the pandemic. The IRS is reminding them that they don't have to have big earnings to benefit and that they can still file even if they missed the April deadline. So starting this week, letters will be going out to remind taxpayers that they need to take action before the November 17th deadline.
In time now, it's 5:49. Those roads were pretty busy earlier. Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos.
And as we get closer to that busy time, it's going to get obviously busier out there on the roadways. But of course, the roads are wet right now, as you can see there from that TransGuide camera. And this one especially, Loop 1604 at Northwest Military. If you're still at home, make sure you have your KSAT mobile app handy, because we are sending out some push alerts regarding some incidents out there on the roadway that you need to be aware of. But 10 at Hackberry, you can see it there right now. Traffic's getting busy, but you have to take it easy out there, because as we've been saying throughout the morning, the roads are wet. Looks like an incident also popped up there of US 90 at 410. Now, we did have a few problems there along 281 at Hildebrand that could have already cleared out, but let's just go ahead and get you to the map, because at least 2 have been reported right now. Let's go ahead and start you right up at the top here near Loop 1604 westbound, right there as you approach I-10 from Lock Hill Selma Road. A crash that was causing some minor delays for drivers, and as we just saw on one of those TransGuide cameras, we are still seeing those flashing lights out there. So you have to drive careful through that area. It's just not a good spot to have any issues in. Let's take a drive down back over here to 281 southbound at Hildebrand Avenue. We did have a crash as you approach the on-ramp, but it does look like that could have already cleared out, and things are quiet right now in both lanes of direction in the southbound and northbound lanes of 281. So that's good news. But as I mentioned, just drive carefully this morning. We still have a lot of road work taking place. Barrier installation right there along State Highway 46 in Comal County. We'll see that later tonight, but it will continue until October 21st. Expect alternating lane closures in both directions from Bentwood Drive to Far Hills Drive. And I just updated the list of traffic closures in our area, so you can always head over to our traffic page, ksat.com/traffic, for the very latest. But Mike, we know we needed the rain, but not looking good on the roadways right now.
No, unfortunately, and that's the problem. When you haven't had rain in such a long time, you get all the dust, oil, and everything like that. So it's going to take a little bit for that to wash off. But it's not like it's really heavy downpours to give it a good scouring, if you will. So it's still going to be kind of slippery out there. Wet roads, we're looking off to the east there by 410 by the airport right now. And we've had sort of some broken showers here and there. But as you can see, it is sort of filling in a bit more now. So as we start getting into the morning commute, we're going to have some of this steady light rain. And then even off to the west, right there around Hondo, just along 90, even a couple of more decent showers here and there just to the south of D'Hanis. Everything is working its way to the east, and that will continue to be the case because we've got more of these showers and even a couple of lightning strikes being detected here just to the north of Eagle Pass, and this is working its way just to the south of Uvalde, and more developing out here in Mexico, which is going to be coming on in. So even, yes, there will be a couple of stronger storms here or there. Most of that would be off to the west and to the southwest. And yeah, some pretty decent showers there. So that's what we can look forward to later on this morning. A couple of stronger storms here and there, but most of this is just going to be on the light to moderate side throughout the rest of the morning, and pretty much through early to mid afternoon is going to be the best window of opportunity for some rain. Then it's going to start to ease up slightly. 64 in Bulverde, 66 here in town right now, and 68 down the road at Stinson. Humidity, dew points, albeit still above 60 in most locations. These numbers have dropped down 7 degrees compared to this time yesterday. So it's that much drier air, which is being pumped in with this front, when these winds that are coming in out of the northeast now. Gusting 25 Cotulla, 24 Eagle Pass, 24 also in New Braunfels. We're going to be seeing wind gusts 25, 30, 35 miles per hour at times throughout the course of the afternoon. Temperatures, best way to talk about temperatures, just a slow, steady decline throughout the day, and the better rain chances late morning through early afternoon. Then rain chances will ease somewhat. We'll still have some of those showers around the area, and even a couple leftovers tonight, and we'll be in the mid to lower 60s by later on this afternoon. Computer model. Again, through this evening, the rain continues late afternoon, evening hours to taper off somewhat. And then a couple of leftover showers around here tomorrow morning with clouds. Then we start to clear on out. And that's when the really cooler air starts to move on in here. We'll have clear skies, and we continue to get this drier air moving on in. Bone dry air setting us up for good radiational cooling. So we are definitely looking at chilly to cold temperatures by Wednesday morning, Thursday morning. Even tomorrow is going to be on the cool side starting off. 65 degrees at noon today. Showers, breezy, and then later on this afternoon, even a couple of thunderstorms popped in here and there, especially down to the south. 64 later on this afternoon. Just call it mid to low 60s, and a couple of showers on the windy side. Tomorrow starting off 55, we get up to 68. Clouds in the morning, some clearing, and then look at that, 40s. Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, still pretty chilly. Friday morning, yep, it is going to get more humid by the weekend. More after this.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the latest on the war in Ukraine. New explosions in the heart of their capital after kamikaze drones hit Kyiv. Emergency workers are frantically searching for survivors. And this is happening as NATO kicks off nuclear training exercises in Europe. We're right there on the scene. And why some retailers could be doing away with free online returns, and what you could do to avoid the fees. That would help environmentally for sure. We're also kicking off a 5-day Fall Fest Deals and Steals event, and Michael Bublé plus Ralph Macchio both here live. You don't want to miss it on a Monday edition of Good Morning America.
Well, mariachi bands are being used to help Alzheimer's patients. Why this new form of therapy seems to be working. And up next, a woman in New York is shining a spotlight on some unlikely heroes. How their story started with some missing jewelry. And taking a look outside with TransGuide, looks like we have an incident there at US 90 and Loop 410. Stephen Cavazos will give us all we need to know on the roads when we come back.
The November midterm elections are now just more than 3 weeks away, with campaigns now heating up in battleground states, including Georgia, seen as a must-win to lock in control of the Senate. I'm ABC's Justin Finch in Washington with more ahead.
Also this morning on GMSA, gunfire erupting at a car club meetup, sending at least 2 people to the hospital. What police are saying about the victims.
And taking a live look outside, we are getting a taste of fall with a little rain mixed in. Great news there. Mike Osterhage is tracking the skies all morning to see what comes next.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. It's Monday, October 17th. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for getting up early. And we have great news. It's raining and we're expecting a cold front.
I mean, it's just everything you could have asked for a Monday morning.
Exactly, yeah. The cool front has started moving on through the area. The winds have shifted around. We're starting to see some drier air coming in. It's going to be kind of throughout the course of the day. But yeah, we've got rain out there. It is absolutely wonderful. The one downside, which Stephen's going to be talking about, is the fact that, the roads are damp. And I don't know if we're just not used to driving on damp roads. But that's the situation out there at the airport. You can see raindrops on the camera lens, which is great news. We've got pretty much just light showers in and around town as of right now. It's becoming a little more, more filled in, and it has been raining most all night long at some point or another. So just assume that all the roads are damp this morning. Allow yourself some extra time before you hit the roads. And then looking out further to the west, we've got a couple of spots with some decent showers here just to the south of 90, south of Hondo, south of Sabinal. A couple of those move through Concan, and even more rain further on out to the west. Even a few thunderstorms thrown on in there as well. And these are working their way just to the north of Crystal City, and more developing out in the mountains of Mexico. Going to be coming on in here. So especially down to the south, you may get a couple of decent thunderstorms throughout the course of the afternoon. And most of the rain is going to be through early, or the better chance for rain through early afternoon. Then it starts to ease up somewhat. Still at 66 degrees in town, 61 up the road, Bernie Stage. So temperatures, yes, they have dropped a little bit each and every hour, but not a huge plunge in temperatures thanks to some of the cloud cover out there acting like a blanket. But wind, yeah, that's definitely something. 10 miles per hour at the airport, 20 New Braunfels, 15 Port SA, and then we've got gusts on top of that, 26 in New Braunfels, and it is going to be pretty gusty all day long. So some of those Halloween decorations may be getting blown around. Mold, ragweed, pigweed are all on the low side. And as far as temperatures this morning, we'll stay mid 60s here in town. Best thing to take away from this is the fact that we'll just do that slow, steady decline throughout the day. Showers, even a couple of thunderstorms here and there, will be in 65 and mid to lower 60s then throughout the rest of the afternoon. And so obviously even cooler in portions of the hill country. And wind, that's going to be one of the big problems besides the wet roads. Winds out of the northeast, 15, 25 and gusting. Wait till you see the numbers midweek. Yeah, you think you need a little jacket today? You'll definitely need one by Wednesday morning as well as Thursday morning. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Stephen, got problems out there, right?
Yeah, you know what? We expect this anytime that there are some wet roads out there, Mike. But let's get a look there. US 90 at 410. Not a good situation. If you have been with us, we showed you this crash earlier as we went to break, but this is the incident that we are seeing right now as traffic is now coming to a slowdown. I can tell you this is in the westbound lanes of 90, and you can see right there in the grass, we have a truck that looks like it has its hazard lights on, could be leaving the area, and an area that's also blocked off there. We'll get a closer look and find out exactly where it's at on the map in terms of the location, but it does look like we are seeing a little bit of movement out there, but just very slow. Let's give you a look here, though. This is one of the bigger incidents off Loop 1604 westbound. They're near Lock Hill Selma Road. I'm going to step out so you can actually see the buildup that's already taking place right there in the westbound lanes, but also those eastbound lanes. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown as well. So things just aren't looking good out there this morning. Of course, still keeping an eye over here off 281 there in the southbound lanes at Hildebrand, where that on-ramp, we did have a crash that was reported as well, but it does look like it's not really causing any issues, and it may have already cleared out. Giving you a wide look at the map, more crashes that are popped up here, what appears to be just south of Loop 410, as well as over there on the west side of San Antonio. So areas that we will watch closely throughout the morning, but travel times, if you are planning to hit the road and maybe head to the Alamo City, no need to rush. Things are pretty quiet right now, so take your time. 28 minutes is a pleasant drive right now from Pleasanton on I-37 northbound, about half an hour on Highway 90 east if you're traveling in from Castroville, and that arrival from Lytle, 17 minutes at this point. But of course, the roads are still wet, so as Mike said earlier, assume most of the roads are going to be wet this morning. We'll have those updates on your commute, so stay with us here on GMSA. Steph, Sarah?
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, San Antonio police say an 18-year-old man was shot and killed late last night.
It happened just before 11 near the intersection of Dutton Street and Afcoms Way near Quintana Road on the southwest side. Police say someone started shooting during a car club meet, and they found the 18-year-old victim on the ground. When another man tried to help him, he was also shot. The second man managed to get away in his truck and called for help. He was treated at a hospital, and he is expected to be okay.
Happening today, the murder trial of a mother accused of killing her daughter continues today at the Bexar County Courthouse. Jessica Briones is charged with the murder of her 4-year-old Olivia. Olivia died a day after her mother walked into a San Antonio Police Department substation unresponsive on September 5th of 2017. Jurors had a hard day last week as prosecutors showed evidence and autopsy photos. The images showed numerous injuries all over the child's body, including multiple head injuries. When questioned about the injuries by police, Briones recalled instances of twirling her daughter around and her hitting her head on a door frame or accidentally smashing her arm on a door. Several jurors were seen crying, and they were even given a short break after a second photo was shown. If found guilty, Briones faces up to life in prison.
A man and his stepson are on trial at the same time for the same murder. And today, the court will hear closing arguments in the trial for Lane Wooten and Williams Blankenship. When the state rested its case on Friday, testimony focused on what happened the night 24-year-old Josh Fowler was killed. The lead detective on that case took the stand to tell jurors what his investigation revealed. Fowler and another friend had a run-in with Wooten earlier in the day on December 8th of 2020. Later, while Fowler and his friend were at another friend's house, Wooten showed up with his mother and stepfather, Williams Blankenship. Fowler got into a fight with Wooten, and at some point he was shot by who is the question now. How many shots were fired is also an important question, since investigators say the defendants arrived with more than one weapon.
There were no casings found at the actual murder site, were there?
No.
We know there was for sure one because the victim was shot, but there were no casings that were found, so there could have been one or there could have been two shots that night.
Correct.
Jennifer Blankenship, Wooten's mother, is also facing charges in this case.
Looking ahead, you've seen it on Stranger Things, a so-called satanic panic hysteria that spread across the country in the 80s and early 90s. People all over the U.S. getting arrested and convicted of crimes against children.
But it turned out to be false. And South Texas Crime Stories looks into the hysteria that got 5 people wrongfully convicted here in San Antonio.
Hosts Erica Hernandez and Lee Waldman, they dive into these crimes with new information that you might have not heard of at the time.
You can tune into South Texas Crime Stories on Apple Podcast or Spotify Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe. Part 1 will drop tomorrow morning.
This morning, we're now just weeks away from the November midterm elections, one of the highest profile races in Georgia for senator.
As ABC's Justin Finch reports, a win for either party in the crucial battleground state will decide the balance of power in Washington.
A stark sight at Sunday's Georgia senatorial debate. Republican nominee Herschel Walker opting out.
Herschel Walker, a Republican, is a businessman and former professional athlete. Mr. Walker has declined to participate and is represented by an empty podium.
Walker's campaign saying he never agreed to attend. His absence comes amid criticism he was pretending to be law enforcement when he flashed a badge at a debate Friday.
You have a prop.
Yes.
That is not allowed, sir.
The former football star in a new interview insisting that honorary badge is real, given to him by the Johnson County, Georgia sheriff.
Everyone can make fun, but this badge give me the right. Let me finish. If anything happened in this county, I have the right to work with the police and getting things done.
The National Sheriff's Association said an honorary badge, quote, is for the trophy case. Why make the decision to flash it at the debate?
That is totally not true.
But on Facebook, the Johnson County Sheriff's Office posting Walker was only made an honorary sheriff's deputy for his dedication to law enforcement and commitment to public safety. Republicans viewing Georgia as a must-win to secure Senate control. But polls show a tight race between Walker and Democrat incumbent Raphael Warnock, now distancing himself from the White House.
I have voted to support the people of Georgia. And when I needed to, I've stood up to the Biden administration.
A new model shows Republicans likely to take control of the House as economic concerns appear to slow Democrats' momentum.
I think the first and most important issue is, are we going to preserve and hopefully strengthen our democracy?
That from former President Obama on this podcast. He's now set to campaign for Democrats in battleground states, including Georgia, Michigan, and Wisconsin in the coming weeks. With voting set to begin soon, new safety protocols are launching at poll sites nationwide, from hiring extra security to installing bulletproof glass and even holding active shooter drills. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
It's 6:11 and 65 degrees.
And still to come on GMSA, mariachi bands are being used to help Alzheimer's patients. Why this new form of therapy seems to be working.
After the break, Startup Week is helping entrepreneurs reach goals and starting their own businesses. Max Massey gives us a look at a week-long event.
And we had some showers overnight, and they're expected to continue on and off throughout the day. You could see some of those raindrops on our camera lens right there. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Startup Week is here. It's a celebration of entrepreneurship and businesses that are helping to shape the Alamo City.
The CEO of Geekdom joined us on Leading SA over the weekend to break down the importance of the week and tech jobs in San Antonio.
Philip Hernandez, the COO of Geekdom, joined us, and we talked about a lot in regard to San Antonio Startup Week. We talked about the agenda for Startup Week, how it started on Sunday, and we talked about so much that is involved. We also talked about how the tech sector and tech jobs have grown so much over the last 10 years. Of course, we talked about the future. We talked about how San Antonio sets itself apart. Here's a bit of our conversation.
And I think now's the time that San Antonio is San Antonio. We can stand alone. We do have a strong and vibrant startup ecosystem. And you know what really shines here is our culture. The culture in San Antonio, especially in the startup scene, everybody wants to lift each other up. There's a lot of collaboration, and you don't really see that a lot of other places like we see it here in San Antonio. I've witnessed it on my own. I've seen companies and founders help each other grow. And that's, I think, going to be our differentiator in San Antonio.
We have Leading SA every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So, guys, we'll see you next Sunday. Back to you.
Thank you, Max. All right, time check is 6:16, and let's get a quick look at the commute because we mentioned this earlier. Just assume all the roads are wet this morning. We had a few issues there along 281 at Hildebrandt. Things have already cleared out and moving quite nicely, but 10 at Callahan, we're catching some flashing lights out there. Looks like it could be a first responder, so just watch out if you are traveling in those directions or see those flashing lights out there on the roadway. But there are 37 at Fair Avenue. Things aren't too bad. Have to get you to the map, though, because we're starting with that wide look. And although that we're really not seeing any slowdowns just yet, we still have this issue that's been out there for over an hour, a crash that was picked up along Loop 1604 westbound, not far from Lock Hill Selma Road. But notice that we have a pretty significant buildup that's already taking place. It continues to build. And of course, those first responders have been out there working in these conditions. Just make sure to give them plenty of room. As always, we hope everyone's doing okay out there, but also noticing a little bit of a buildup there in the eastbound lanes of Loop 1604 as well. This is one of those busy spots, so anytime a crash happens, it's not really going to be helping anybody out there, so just drive carefully. Also, just as a quick reminder, here off Loop 410 over on the west side of San Antonio, we will continue to see some of the asphalt work taking place there up until the end of October 31st, 8 in the evening to 5 in the morning. That's when you'll see alternating lane closures on the frontage roads in both directions from Bandera Road to Marbach Road. But let's go ahead and get you a shot of that crash that was right there reported off Loop 1604 at Northwest Military. Traffic coming to a standstill, almost one of those busy spots again, but we'll have to watch it closely and we'll look for some solutions as well as the morning does continue.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Mike, the kiddos that are walking to the bus stop this morning might need rain boots, rain jacket, umbrella.
Yep.
All of the above.
Oh, yeah, all the above. And make sure you've got a, slightly heavier coat by midweek because it's going to be really chilly, especially in parts of the hill country. Now, this morning we're in the mid 60s and it's not really cold, but yeah, light jacket, obviously rain jacket. And you will need it all day long. And as far as an umbrella, I would maybe go for the hood because the umbrella is going to get blown around by those winds, which are going to be out of the northeast, 15, 25 miles per hour gusting, and temperatures will just continue a nice, slow, steady decline. Well, here's what it looks like out there right around the airport, and like every other picture that Stephen has been showing on TransGuide, it is definitely wet out there. Roads are wet. Allow yourself plenty of extra time. Here's what's going on. First of all, out to the west of us, we've got some pretty good showers and thunderstorms here in the mountains. Coming off the mountains of Mexico, just about to work their way across the river, and from Eagle Pass. Everything's moving along at a fairly decent clip. So right here, this batch of rain, which is just to the north of Crystal City, this will also continue to work its way to the east. So a couple of decent downpours, but at least it's not just sitting in one spot. Obviously, we can use a lot of rain, but you don't want it just coming here all at once. And there in Uvalde County, we've got some of these showers showers there. Further off to the east, just some decent rain in Medina County, and then coming into town in and around San Antonio. As you can see, it's starting to fill in, just some nice, steady, light rain around here. We will have a few more showers or decent showers off and on, maybe a couple of heavier downpours here and there, but it looks like the majority of anything really heavy or even a stronger storm is going to be in the southern portion of our area. We do have some pretty good winds out there. Gusts to 31 now at Eagle Pass, 26 in New Braunfels, and it will continue to stay very gusty throughout the day. Temperatures, it's how quickly this cooler air kind of comes on in here sometimes has a bit of a mind of its own. So best way to put it is temperatures will just do a slow, steady decline throughout the day. So we'll go from mid 60s. Obviously, there's some lower 60s out there right now, and drop down a few more degrees throughout the rest of the morning. Best chance of rain, like I said, with any stronger storms or heavy rain would be best chance down to the south. And then overall, the best chance of rain is going to be through early afternoon. Then we'll still have a couple of showers out there, but they'll begin to taper off somewhat. We'll be in the mid 60s later on today. Computer model does a pretty good job of showing some of this rain throughout the morning hours, and then by later on this afternoon, again, it becomes a little more few and far between. We'll still, I think, have a couple of leftover showers early in the morning, and then some clouds in the morning, obviously. Then we begin to clear on out, and then much drier air moves on in here, and this is what's going to allow temperatures to really drop down once we get into the middle portion of the week. We're going to have clear skies, dry air, light wind, perfect radiational cooling by midweek. 65 at noon today. Again, that slow, steady decline with temperatures throughout the day. Showers, it is going to be on the breezy side, and then just mid to lower 60s and even some upper 50s by later on this afternoon with the windy conditions and a few more of those showers. Tomorrow, leftover shower or two in the morning, and then we'll clear out somewhat in the afternoon. Start off at 55, upper 60s, and then look at that. Mid 40s, mid and upper 40s, middle portion of the week. Got 47 here in town. We're looking at some 30s in portions of the hill country. And then we get into as far as, I jumped past that picture there. Let me do this real quickly here. I got excited thinking about the cooler temperatures. And then we are going to have temperatures that will be getting into the, like I said, upper 30s in portions of the hill country. But there's the wet conditions. Plus, I wanted to just jump past the fact that it's going to be more humid by the weekend.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it. Let's be in the moment.
Yeah, we'll enjoy this.
Some rain today, watch it on the roads, and much cooler by the middle part of the week.
Very excited for that. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.
All right, 622 and 65 degrees.
And just ahead, a woman in New York is shining a spotlight on some unlikely heroes, how their story started with some missing jewelry.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
And welcome back at 6:25. A woman named Jackie from Staten Island is shining a spotlight this morning on some New York City sanitation workers. She had dropped her favorite ring in a napkin and accidentally tossed it out in the trash. Now, she eventually found the truck that had picked up her garbage, and they made their way to the transfer station where workers helped search through bags of trash. After 15 minutes of frantically looking for it, they were able to reunite her with that ring.
Well, meanwhile, mariachi bands, a famous staple of Mexican culture, they're being used to reawaken memories of Alzheimer's patients. So the therapy is being promoted by Mexican Alzheimer's Center in Mexico City. Researchers hope the music will stir up recollections of past among patients, and maybe in the future it could encourage them to sing or even dance to those familiar old tunes. I love that story.
I love seeing the video as well.
I know.
Time now, 6:26 and 65 degrees for now.
All right, still ahead at 6:30, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. How you can spot a toxic relationship and what you can do about it.
And we have details on the suspected serial killer in California, what police say he was doing when they tracked him down.
Right now on GMSA, millions of Americans are finally able to buy hearing aids over the counter without a prescription. We'll tell you why and where you can get them.
Plus, you can now apply to get your student loans forgiven. How you can sign up and where in just moments.
Just taking a look outside with live cam, 65 degrees. Waking up to a rainy morning at 6:30. Earlier, we had some raindrops on the camera lens. Mike is going to let us know about the cool front that this rain is also bringing in.
Good morning. It is Monday, October 17th, and happy Monday. We are enjoying the rain and the cooler temperatures.
Oh, it's such a nice change, Mike.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, after a warm, humid weekend. Now, the humidity has dropped down. There's still some out there. And the nice thing is we're going to have rain, no, not constantly all day, but pretty much off and on throughout the rest of today. And yeah, talk about cool front. Temperatures will be dropping down throughout the day, but boy, wait till midweek. Wait till you see those numbers. You're going to love them if you like some cool temperatures. We do have just some light rain in and around town as of right now. We've had a couple of decent showers here and there, but most of it has been really too light to wash all the oil and dirt off the roads. And so that's why, and Stephen's going to elaborate on this, there have been a lot of little issues on the roads this morning. So allow yourself plenty of extra time. Further on out to the west, we've got some pockets of some heavier rain right there around Uvalde moving through there. And then further on out to the west, we've got some even some lightning strikes that are being detected here, working their way just to the north of Crystal City, and more coming in from Mexico, just about to cross over into some of our western counties as the morning rolls on. So this is where, if you had to pick an area where there's going to be some of those pockets of heavier rain or even some potentially stronger storms, that would be further on down to the south. And as far as the overall rain chances, best chance is going to be through early afternoon. Then it's going to start to kind of ease up a little bit. But like I said, really throughout the all day long, we're going to have rain off and on at times. Also windy conditions, 17-mile-per-hour winds there at Port SA, 20 New Braunfels. Then the gusts on top of that, 26 New Braunfels. And that will be the case all day long with gusty conditions. 30, 35 mile-per-hour wind gusts can be expected. Mold, ragweed, pigweed, all on the low side. The updated count's going to come out in about an hour or so. So showers and breezy this morning. A few showers, like I said, they'll start to taper off somewhat. We'll still have some throughout the day. Windy and cooler temperatures. We'll just do the slow, steady decline in temperatures throughout the rest of the day. And then after some clouds starting off tomorrow, we begin to clear out. It's going to be chilly tomorrow, but wow, wait till you see Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. It's going to be downright cold, especially in the hill country. And then beautiful afternoons. Do I stop there for the weekend? We'll just leave it right there with the cool weather. We won't talk about what happens after that. Here's a hint. Yeah, humidity is going to return for the weekend. I couldn't leave you hanging that much. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authority, Stephen, it's not fun on the roads, is it?
No, it's not, Mike. But, you know, we are going to get folks through it. 1604 Northwest Military was, so far, the biggest problem we had this morning out there. This is actually looking a little bit more like an improvement, actually. Just spoke to Justin Horn, who got to the station, said that he was able to avoid that area. But we did still see some flashing lights out there for almost 2 hours. Now traffic's moving, obviously still pretty slow. No more flashing lights, so it looks like that crash scene could have already cleared. And at friends at TransGuide, now able to switch that camera around and give us a different view of Loop 1604 at Northwest Military. So thank you for that. Traffic is moving without any trouble. But let's go in and get you to the map, because we still see a little bit of a buildup in the westbound lanes, not far from Lock Hill, Selma Road. Just quick advice here. Solution: if you want to avoid that mess, just exit Northwest Military Highway, turn left on Days of Zavala Road, and you'll be able to get onto I-10 if that's where you're trying to head to. We've outlined it in blue for you, so it's something just so that you can probably take if you do want to avoid that mess. But other than that, we are starting to see the typical slowdowns take place along US 90 if you're traveling into San Antonio, as well as 281 and, of course, I-35 traveling in from Live Oak. But let's go ahead and get one last look at the rotation of the camera here. The roads are still wet, so while the problems have dwindled down for now, we'll see how long that lasts. But right now, if you have to head out the door, just remember to drive safe. Steph, Sarah?
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, millions of Americans can now buy hearing aids over the counter without a prescription. So prior to the new FDA rules taking effect, hearing aids cost on average between $4,000 and $5,000. They also required a trip to a licensed audiologist. Now people who need them will be able to pick them up at retailers like Best Buy, Walmart, and Walgreens. Meanwhile, a child battling cancer is now in the care of her grandmother after both of her parents have died within just a few months of each other.
Emery Cervantes is 4 years old, and she's been fighting leukemia for 2 years now. In December, she'll turn 5 and hopefully celebrating her remission. Her grandmother, Linda Cervantes, says there's a big party planned, one her father had put together before he died on September 29th.
She lost her mom on March 27, 2022. A drunk driver killed her in Southside. And so she just had daddy left, right? And then now daddy got cancer.
There are a few nonprofits helping Linda as she takes care of Emery. Gabriella Smile Foundation here in San Antonio, and one campaign at a time.
Before her dad died, he wanted to take Emery to Disney World. Now, one campaign at the time is trying to make that happen. If you want to donate, we have a link to it on our website at KSAT.com. And it's been nearly a week since Uvalde CISD Superintendent Hal Harrell's retirement was accepted by the school board. So looking ahead to this Wednesday, there will be a Uvalde CISD special board meeting to discuss matters related to his retirement. Also on the agenda for closed session is a consultation with an attorney regarding legal issues related to the retirement, as well as a search process to hire a new superintendent. The board could also interview a possible interim superintendent.
And topping your morning headlines, we are learning more about the dramatic arrest of a suspected serial killer in California.
As ABC's Rhiannon Alley reports, he is accused in 6 murders, and police say he was hunting for another victim when he was captured.
Officials in Stockton, California made the announcement Saturday afternoon. A suspected serial killer was under arrest. 43-year-old Wesley Brownlee taken into custody 2 a.m. Saturday morning as police allege he was prowling the streets in search of another victim.
Our surveillance team followed this person while he was driving. We watched his patterns and determined early this morning he was on a mission to kill. We are sure we stopped another killing.
Investigators believe Brownlee is connected to 5 shooting deaths in Stockton and 1 in Oakland. All of the victims, men from 21 to 54 years old. One woman, Natasha, was also shot. She survived her injuries. Ballistics helped police link all of the shootings. She described her terrifying encounter with the gunman.
There was no words exchanged. Didn't say anything. Didn't come any closer. Just started shooting. I just saw flashes.
Investigators had asked for the public's help in identifying this man seen in surveillance video near 2 of the crime scenes.
When the people of our city of Stockton, California come together and we unite, we can get things done.
Renee Myers started a citizens group on Facebook to help police track down the alleged killer.
Our administrative team on this group has worked so hard with the community to try to uncover like every stone and try to identify who this person was who's been terrorizing our community.
Residents in the area are now breathing a sigh of relief.
His capture just shows the diligence of our police force and the commitment that they have to the community.
Brownlee has been booked on a homicide charge, but it's expected he will face more charges when he makes his first court appearance on Tuesday. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
And if you haven't filed your 2021 taxes, your final day to get it done has arrived. The IRS says today is the tax extension deadline. The deadline was initially extended to give people more time to file, and some will be filing a 1040 form to avoid the late filing penalty tomorrow. The IRS provides free filing for those whose adjusted gross income is $73,000 or less. Payments can be made online or by the phone. For more information, you can head over to the IRS website.
And the student loan forgiveness application website, it's now available. According to the Department of Education, if you submit an application early, it will still be processed and you won't need to reapply once the program officially opens. The student debt relief plan will forgive up to $10,000 in federal debt and $20,000 for people who received a Pell Grant.
And the time now, 6:39 and 65 degrees for now.
Still ahead, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. After the break, how to spot a toxic relationship and what to do about it. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
And studies show that 1 in 4 women are in a physically abusive relationship and 1 in 2 women have been psychologically abused by their significant others.
RJ Marquez reports.
A friend, a boss, or a romantic partner. Chances are you've been in a scary relationship with someone at one time or another.
It made me question who I was.
They shut that down and didn't feel.
I felt like a liar because people thought I had a perfect life.
But how do you know when an uncomfortable situation is becoming unhealthy?
One that comes to mind automatically is abusive. So physical abusive, sexual abusive, verbally abusive, mentally abusive as well, financially abusive, all those things.
Some signs of a toxic person in your life include they constantly tease you, they pressure you to do things you don't want to, they demand all of your attention, they're jealous of your other important relationships, they always blame you, they ask you to lie or cover for them, or they gaslight you.
What gaslighting is actually making a person feel like what really causes them harm, emotional harm, is really not true.
So how can you escape a scary relationship? First, build a support system of family and friends to help you. Make a detailed plan and follow through. If you want out, be honest and cut contact for good. If you made your decision to end the relationship, stick to it. It might help to journal your emotions during this time. And therapy can also be a good resource for helping you heal and move on. And if you are in an abusive situation, you should seek help without delay. The National Domestic Violence Hotline offers free, confidential support 24/7. We also have more resources on KSAT.com. RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
6:44 and 65 degrees.
And I saw some flashing lights over at Highway 90. Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Yeah, there are a few incidents that we are keeping track of this morning. Thank you, Steph. Sarah, let's get a quick look around town, though. 35 at Space Center. Things are moving. 37 at Fair Avenue, not bad at all. But you can see from these shots at TransGuide, the roads have been wet. And with that, we have seen our fair share of problems out there. But as we get a quick look around town, you can see that really not spotting any more problems. But I do want to step out of the camera here because there are some incidents that we're trying to keep aware of. There at 281 at Hildebrand, if I can go ahead and find the camera there, it looks like our friends at TransGuide may have moved that around, but we are trying to find out where if a crash has been reported there. TxDOT reports it in the southbound lanes at Hildebrand, but I did speak to our friends over there at TransGuide. They did tell us that they are searching right now and combing through the area using that camera to try to show us the conditions. But if there is a crash, that would be the third one reported right there in the same location. So obviously what's we see usually when the rain or when the roads are wet, Hildebrand becomes one of those areas where we see a lot of problems because of that curve. So make sure anywhere that you drive, you are driving carefully and you slow down as you approach those curves. Giving you a wide look at the map, slowdowns, of course, are what we're seeing now. US 90 if you're approaching into the Alamo City from Castroville, as well as 1604 on the northwest side. We did have some problems over there off of I-10 at 1604 near Six Flags, but it looks like that crash is already cleared out. We're going to have to keep a close eye on the roads. So back here at 1604 Northwest Military, a little bit of a fuzzy shot, but thankfully things are moving a lot better there, Mike.
Well, it's going to be slow going all day long because we will continue to have showers throughout most all of the day. As you can see, more raindrops there on the camera lens over at 410 right there by the airport. And it also appears as though we're starting to see a bit more in the way of some moderate and even a couple of more decent downpours here, especially on the far northwest side and far west side over there right around 410 SeaWorld area up in toward Leon Valley. So all this will continue to work its way to the east, and just within the city proper, every road is definitely on the wet side. A little bit further out to the west, we do have a couple more in the way of some more decent downpours, if you will, especially going out in toward, say, Eagle Pass, where we're seeing a few of these thunderstorms. Crystal City, now lightning strikes are not really, not seeing all that real heavy and numerous lightning strikes. There are a couple of them out there, and one or two over in some of these storms over there just beyond Eagle Pass. So that's moving on in, and those have some decent downpours associated with them. So out in our western counties, you will see more of these. heavy downpours and even potentially a couple of stronger storms. Late last night, there was a severe storm in Valverde County, 60-mile-per-hour winds and some quarter-size hail were being detected. So that's going to be a possibility with some of these storms, especially down to the south. But the overall picture, as you can see, we do have more of these showers covering just about everywhere, especially hill country. And like I said, it's going to be continuing on throughout the day, off and on. It's not going to rain constantly. 66 in town. We've been steady for the past couple of hours. 64 Bulverde, and then low 60s in parts of the hill country. And it's just going to be that slow, steady decline throughout the course of the day. Humidity, dew point temperatures, measure moisture in the atmosphere, low to mid 60s. So still above the threshold line of 60, but that's definitely going to be changing over the next couple of days thanks to these winds out of the northeast. We've got some gusts, 32 at Eagle Pass right now, 22 Uvalde, and it's going to be gusting 30-35 miles per hour throughout the day. So temperatures will stay fairly steady this morning. Better chance of rain throughout the morning, and then going into early afternoon will be right around mid 60s noontime, and then again continue that slow steady decline, and rain chances will sort of ease a bit as we go into the late afternoon hours and the evening hours. We'll still have a couple of showers though around the area, as computer models are indicating throughout the rest of the morning, and then we get into the afternoon hours. They become a little fewer and further between, but still a couple of them out there. We'll start off tomorrow with some clouds, and then the colder air moves on in here with the clearer skies. Obviously, it's not going to get this cold, but this is the heart of this air mass coming down here from Canada. We've got definitely freezing temperatures in the northern portion of the United States, and this is pushing south, and this is why we're going to be seeing coldest air we've seen going back all the way back to early last spring. 65 degrees today at noon. Showers, breezy. Like I said, winds are going to be gusting 25, 30, 35 miles per hour. 64 at later on this afternoon. I almost said a high temperature, but slow, steady decline throughout the course of the afternoon. Even some upper 50s in the hill country by the afternoon. Tomorrow we start off mid 50s thanks to the cloud cover acting like a bit of a blanket. We start to clear on out, upper 60s, and look at that, 40s. Wednesday, Thursday morning, which means probably some upper 30s in parts of the hill country. It won't last forever. More humidity and mid 80s by the weekend, but then way down the road, indications another couple of fronts. So definitely getting into a fall pattern.
The wind that we're experiencing this morning or overnight, that's going to die down by what, tomorrow, you think?
Yeah, it'll die down by tomorrow, and that's what's going to help to set us up for colder temperatures by the middle part of the week. But it's going to stay fairly breezy throughout the day. So, yeah, Halloween decorations.
Yeah, you can put them back up later.
Kind of blown around, yeah.
Bones are scattered across my front yard right now. All right, thank you, Mike. 6:50 and 65 degrees.
And Whoopi Goldberg, Tom Cruise, and Jennifer Aniston are known for their time in the spotlight, but you may not know all three also have dyslexia. Tomorrow on GMSA, we're debunking some of those myths of that condition.
All right, let's take one more look outside with live cam. Yep, you can see some of those raindrops on the camera lens again. If you're about to head out the door to work or school, make sure you take your time, because be careful out on the roads.
KSAT 12 presents another Day of the Dead story, Building the Ofrenda.
Ofrenda means offering, and on November 1st, these altars welcome our lost loved ones back to the world of the living. They're built with many pieces and parts, and each has a specific purpose. Flowers symbolize life, and one specific flower has become the symbol of Dia de los Muertos. Marigolds, or cempasúchil, are used to make crucifixes, or the arches of ofrendas. Their bright colors and potent smell are said to attract the souls of the dead, and during Dia de los Muertos, you'll find seas of them in Mexican cemeteries. You can also use them to create a path from the front door to your ofrenda at home.
And welcome back at 6:54. Before we go, firefighters have put out an electrical fire in the 2700 block of El Paso Street. An electrical pole sparked and one of the power lines fell and landed on top of the house. You see there right on your screen. There was one person inside, but he got out safely. CPS is working on a power at the scene. No injuries were reported, but the fire chief there believes there was around $10,000 in damage.
All right, we're going to check in with Stephen Cavazos one more time before you head out the door.
Those roads are still wet out there, and we do have some issues to get to really quick. 35 at Space Center, not a problem, but you see the droplets there in the camera. Got to get you to the map, though, because we do have a crash that popped up here, 410 eastbound near Vance Jackson, and that's a pretty busy spot as we are already starting to see a little bit of a buildup. Also tracking this crash down here at 281 southbound at Hildebrand Avenue, Mike.
Thank you, sir. Always a good way to judge rain falling and how much. I mean, you can see the drips there on the camera lens, and got some moderate showers that are now moving into the kind of metropolitan area, especially on the west side of town, heading in toward portions of the medical center. More rain out to the west, even a few lightning strikes, and even more further on out to the west, just moving into Del Rio as well as Eagle Pass. And we will continue to see more showers and windy conditions throughout the day. Any heavier storms pretty much will be down to the south, still in the mid to low 60s, windy conditions, and we'll just stay in the 60s all day long, again, with more showers around the area.
All right, we're a fan of the 60s.
Yeah, and this rain too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you back here at 9, and be safe out there.
GMA is next.